I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to talk about landing pages. So with the Intaker landing pages, this is something some of you might be using. Many of you probably are wondering, what is he talking about? Within your Intaker, obviously we started with chat. If you're here, I'm sure you're using Intaker chat. And over time we developed CRM, more of like the texting automation that we talked about. But one of those features as well is the ability to set up these customized landing pages that can be unique for the different bots. So you might have one bot in your Intaker, you might have 15 bots in your Intaker, but with each of these, you can create a custom version of, like, when I talk about a landing page, it's what Puya mentioned earlier, a digital front desk. You could set this up either for new leads, people coming in to drop a lead or drop their information. And for those, it might be something like if someone comes in not from a website, but maybe you meet someone in person, kind of like what Chris talked about earlier. If you meet someone and you want to enter their information to the mobile app, well, if you meet someone and you give them something like a business card with a QR code on the back of it, we love QR codes here, obviously, you can give them a link to a version of your Intaker that could be special for maybe your referral sources. Maybe those are your clients. Maybe those are your referral partners. And that page, that landing page, can be customized with a different video or the same video as what's on your website. But imagine you can use a different video, different messaging, and just tailor the experience so it's a little bit more personal, a little bit more intimate. And this is using your Intaker chat. So imagine Intaker is on your website, you're getting leads, that's working great. You don't have to change any of that. But there are some other ways that you can use this. One is lead capture. I just mentioned that, and we'll take another look in just a moment. Another is for existing clients. And I know for a lot of law firms, it just takes time. It takes a lot of time. Answering questions, answering phone calls, chasing people down to make sure they pay their bill. There's so many things that can just slow you down. And all of those little touch points that are more, I don't know how to call it, administrative more than meaningful touch points, you know what I mean? Or things that just need to get done. You can automate a lot of that, even for your existing clients. And the third one that we'll talk about in this session is generating reviews. Now, this is using the Intaker landing pages that I'm going to show you in combination with another feature that we have called Turbo Review. You can imagine that is for reputation management. And the goal there, of course, is put the best feedback that you get, give people a direct line to post that on Google, on Yelp, or any platform that you're using. And if the feedback is less than stellar, make sure that goes immediately to your team, to your leadership, so that you can triage and see where did things go wrong, reach out to that person immediately when they leave that negative feedback, and see how you can make it right. Ultimately, so that you can turn that bad initial experience into a positive one for the client, and even possibly a positive review at the end of the day for yourself. Now, I'm gonna probably share my screen, and we're gonna take a look at what I mean when I say, what are these customizable, fast, easy to set up landing pages that you can, tailor for more than just lead capture for some of these other ones. And so let's see. I'm on Intaker dashboard. I want to show you how we can customize some of these landing pages. So every bot, like I mentioned, can have a landing page set up for it. On my example, a lot of these bots are geared towards lead capture based on practice area. So I'll just go to my bot for a personal injury. And yeah, if you're in here, we've already seen the Intaker dashboard a few times today. If you go to the bot and then you go to appearance and you click on this option advanced, it takes you to landing page. All right, good. And the preview window is a little squished, so we're actually going to get to see what this looks like. But this landing page, you have some customization options. In fact, let me show you. All right, this is what it looks like when you would set it up. So what is this going to have? It's going to have, obviously, your Intaker chat with, if you have video, your video there. And like I mentioned earlier, you can customize this. You could tailor it more for a specific audience. If you are using this for lead capture from your referral sources, the video that you use here could be different than your website, where it might say something like, hey, if you might know me, attorney XYZ, attorney Joe, haha, I'm not an attorney, or we might have a friend in common. And so if you are looking for support with a legal issue, especially with personal injury, then we'd love to talk to you, learn about your situation, see how we can help. So the video that you put in here could be a little bit more tailored to that message differently than what's just on your main website. Things like customizing the text, whether that is, titles, whether that's some of the paragraph text here, and then other things like how your firm name looks, things like the little picture here, that's old Joe, when I had more hair. And, this is just an example. And from here, why do you want to use this? If you're using Intaker for lead capture already, you probably have other things set up like automations, like those workflows, like Live Call Connect, all that stuff that we already talked about earlier today. You don't have to set that up twice. You already have it set up on your chat for your website. You can also use this for your, like I mentioned before, lead capture in other channels such as your local audience, but you don't need to reinvent the wheel with your integrations, right? So if you come in here and someone comes in, this can all be tailored, including the chat options, not just the video, but all the messaging here in the chat. And if someone goes ahead and starts that conversation, I know we talk a lot about personal injury examples. I can show you other examples too, that's fine. But if they come in here, then they can see what those other options are, however you want to set it up. This one might be a little bit different for family law. And, in this case, in either situation, maybe you have different parts of your attorneys at your firm really focus on different practice areas. Then you could have different direct links for each of those attorneys. And if you wanted to do that, each of those links, the leads could go straight to them. They don't need to necessarily follow the same logic that your main Intaker chat on your website does. So the whole thing end to end, you can customize it specifically for your landing page, right? It's taking the power of chat and video and using it in kind of a new format. The other case I want to show you about is, where is it? Sorry, I got a lot of windows here. Reviews. I'll mention reviews right now, because this is the other side of the process. After someone comes in, after they've worked with you, maybe you've won them either a settlement, they got them a good result that they were happy with, then oftentimes you want to ask them, hey, how do we do? We'd love it if you can share some feedback. It's going to help us serve more people in our community, and it would just be good to know how we did. So if you give people a link, and again, how you can use these landing pages, you can send them a link to like an email. And I think you can see here, this is kind of the URL for this. And if you send them that link, it could be in an email. You can have a QR code. Maybe that is something, even if it's on like a mailer. Because I have clients that use these QR codes that I'm talking about here, not just on like a business card, but even if it's a direct mail campaign. I know if a firm is, one option is bankruptcy, right? Bankruptcy firms will often use direct mail as a way to generate leads. But even if you are, whatever it is, family, criminal, personal injury, using things, if you send out holiday cards, if you send out any kind of physical mail, direct mail to people, then when you include a QR code on that, and again, if they are people who maybe you send them a care package or something at the end of the experience, then maybe you can include a QR code with this link to the how did we do landing page to generate reviews. The reason that I bring this up is, you can obviously customize it, have a different video speaking more to someone who is, at the end of their relationship with you. But if they come in here and, for example, you can tailor this where if someone leaves you, let's say, a great 4 or 5 star review, right? You can automatically just invite them, hey, we'd love it if you can share that on Google, click this link, and then from there they can go ahead, and this, takes them right away to go ahead and actually, leave that review experience. And so I'm not actually going to leave a review, even though Mark Childress is a great attorney and a good friend of Intaker, but I will go back. What happens, however, if they leave a not so great review. Let's say 2 or 3 stars or something like that. In this case, you want that feedback to go straight to you and your team immediately. So first, being able to engage and find out, hey, I'm sorry that didn't work. It didn't meet your expectations, but tell us more. What can we do to improve? And if they include this information, right, they can share some details, share their name and their phone number, just like an intake or chat lead. You can set it up the same way. And then at the end, that information, instead of going to Google, just goes to the right people. Maybe that's you, maybe that's your director of customer care or the right case manager for the firm, for the client, however you want to set it up. But the point here is that we want to solve 2 problems, and landing pages can help us do that. The first problem is getting more Google reviews. I know that Ruhi and Yaron talked at length about that during the panel, how with local service ads, especially if you're using those, one of the factors that Google looks at to determine where, do we put this profile in the algorithm, in the list, they look at your reviews, your net reviews, how many, and your positive reviews, how many. And again, those are important factors. So if you can use Turbo Review, or what I'm showing you, to generate more of those great reviews, and at the same time, take the negative feedback, put it to the leadership who can actually do something about it, turn that situation around before they go on their own to leave a nasty review on Yelp or somewhere, that's going to solve a problem. And the landing page just puts it in a nice, friendly way where, I should mention, by the way, you see kind of the desktop version of this landing page. If someone goes to this and it's on their phone, then it wouldn't really make sense to have as much of like the text and the images in the background. If they're on their phone, then this is really more of a clear call to action where it's just that video in frame and that option, that call to action, leave your feedback in this case. So another powerful one, but I want to show one more. So we covered lead capture, reasons, how to use it, why it's going to help you, not just on your website, but even off website through things like direct mail, business cards, referral sources. And I should also mention, going back, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but if you are using landing pages for your lead capture, you can set up a different landing page for different referral sources that you have. And so if you work a lot with someone who is maybe an accountant, for example, and you refer business to him, he refers business back to you, and you've got kind of a mutual relationship like that, or a chiropractor or anyone, then not only is this going to capture the lead from the landing page, but you'll be able to track which landing page brought you that lead. So there's even analytics involved here. I'm not going to get too deep into the analytics of this in this session, but just knowing that when you set this up, if there's things like, oh, I need to track these leads differently than what comes through my website, all that is kind of baked in. And I can show you before we wrap an example, but I want to show you the last thing, which is Intaker for existing clients. And so I know there's a lot of videos of Joe here. I should have gotten other people to give me their videos, but whatever. You know who I am by now. So this is, when Puya mentioned earlier today, like the digital front desk for existing clients as well. This will give you the option to give people a link to a page, either on desktop or mobile. That could be a link, that could be a QR code, that could be a special code on a business card you only give to people at the start of the client relationship so that it's not floating around with other people. You could have different options here, whether that is asking a question, make a payment, receive a status update, or even generating a referral from someone who's already a client in your network. And so each of these, you can decide how you want to structure them. And if you're using other payment portals, then having just an easy interface to link that payment portal to Intaker to make sure that they get the option to pay out their bill, whatever it is, right away. We do our best to make it easy. And all this stuff that I'm showing you, we've built with your feedback, and it's come in large part from ideas from you, our customer community. So thank you first for those ideas, and then keep them coming. I think what I'm going to do, and again, this is kind of a short session, so we're going to wrap up here, and then we're going to do the raffle, and then we're going to say our goodbyes. But I just want to kind of show you, if I come in here and let's say we can just do a quick test with ask a question in our case. And, I could say, what is the question? When can I expect an update? Sorry, I'm typing with one hand on my case. Anything like this just to save time from a phone call so that you can take this message router to the right person to reach back out to them. And so may I have the first name of the person you are trying to reach? I'll just say Amanda. And then now, who is this person? I'll say Kevin. Should I do it? I'll do it. Kevin Hart. Yes. And then email address. And then I will, and don't worry, we're not going to send an actual email to this person. But, being able to say, hey, do we want to send this person a text? Basically, when you get that lead, having the option to, this is a short little old testimonial reel with some intake your clients. Thank you all. Hey, if you've ever given us a testimonial, by the way, shout out to you and thank you so much. We really love it and appreciate it when we hear the feedback from all of you. It helps us know that we're doing a great job and also where we could do better. So again, feedback, testimonials, whatever you want to share with us after this, we'd love it. But if I come in here and I go to my leads, now, here's that example lead and a few things that I mentioned before, which is that certain things like all the details of the chat transcript is here. Even like certain session IDs and tracking IDs are here now, which you can get, but also knowing, for example, what was the actual landing page that they came on. So, the link here this was the page. But if you wanted to give these other, ways of tracking, there's something called UTM parameters. I'm not going to get into it, but there's a lot of ways that you can use the data and the links that you provide people to come up with like special ways to track. Where are these people coming from? If it's a referral source, who's the referral source driving these leads, et cetera. So anyway, there is probably, more here that I didn't quite cover, but I wanted to kind of give that overview of some of those most important use cases. So again, just to kind of recap and wrap up, ways you can use landing pages. Well, first of all, before I do that, why do you want to use them, or what is the benefit? They're easy, they're fast to set up. You can use all of your existing integrations in Intaker, especially if you're doing things like lead capture, or even if you're doing things like getting info from existing clients. You can set up Zapier so that only people who fill out a chat for existing clients, you send that data to somewhere special in your case management. That's possible too. And then lastly, generating more reviews because they're the lifeblood for your firm, especially if you're using Google LSA and things like that. But just, people love to see good positive feedback if they are deciding to work with you.